Hey everyone, before we jump into this awesome story, I gotta tell you I'm watching something real special here. This ain't your average YouTube channel. Chris Dallas is unlike all the others. He writes his own stories, just like the one you're about to see, and he tells the truth in his videos 90% of the time, with a little fiction sprinkled in to spice up the storyline. And listen, it's not just about AI, alright? Chris uses 6 different complex programs to piece all this together, which takes years to master. That's why you don't see anyone else doing what Chris does. Celebrity recreations is one of a kind. There's nothing out there like it. Best stories around, including the ones the fake news media won't touch, and trust me, he tells it like it is through us, the celebrities he portrays in each video. So make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share. You won't want to miss what's coming next. And yes, there will be some profanity here too. Believe me, it justifies it. You'll be swearing as well after you watch this episode. Okay, now on with the show.
Are you fucking kidding me? $75 billion to Ukraine? And meanwhile, right here in the US of A, we got veterans, the people who fought for this country, sleeping on the fucking streets. Homeless families, kids, veterans. But no, let's just send that fucking cash overseas like it's monopoly money. This is total bullshit.
Vinny, calm down. But he's right, you know. We have a crisis here. We've got over 500,000 people who don't even have a roof over their heads. Not to mention thousands of veterans who served this country and are now abandoned by the very system they fought for.
Let's break it down for these fucking geniuses. We got, what, about 580,000 homeless people in this country, right? And out of that, thousands are veterans. $75 billion? We could have fucking built homes for every single one of them. And I'm not talking fancy penthouses in Manhattan, all right? I'm talking affordable fucking homes in places where land is cheap, out in the suburban areas where we got plenty of land. But no, we're too fucking busy sending money to a foreign war, for crying out loud.
Exactly. A home doesn't need to be extravagant to make a difference. Basic shelter, security, and dignity are what we're talking about. You could build homes for $50,000 each in cheaper areas, and even with just $10 billion, you could build 200,000 homes. Add some services for veterans to help them reintegrate into society, and we'd be solving a real problem. But instead, we ship the freaking money off. Why? Because of geopolitics. Give me a break.
And don't even get me fucking started on our poor vets. These are people who fucking risked their lives. They didn't sign up to fight just to come home and be ignored, living under fucking bridges. You know what's more disgusting than that? We had the cash to fix this fucking mess, but we sent it away. I mean, you tell me, what's the fucking priority here? Ukraine or the people who fought for our freedom? But this fucking administration doesn't know its ass from a hole in a wall.
Vinny's right, and it's heartbreaking. Veterans have a higher risk of homelessness due to PTSD, disabilities, and lack of support when they return. We should be investing in housing programs, mental health services, and job training to ensure they aren't left behind. Instead, we've got our priorities completely freaking backwards thanks to a stupid administration running this country for the past 4 years.
Here's what we should have fucking done. First off, we should have used a chunk of that money, hell, even a third of it, to build homes in areas where land is cheap. We're talking 300,000 homes, easy. Then, use another chunk for services, mental health, job placement, and counseling for veterans. And maybe, just maybe, these people could get their lives back on track.
Exactly, Vinny, and the ripple effect would be huge. If people have homes and access to services, they can stabilize their lives, get jobs, and contribute back to the economy. Instead, we've let the problem fester, and it's growing.
I got a question for the fucking clowns running the show. Who the fuck decided that it was a good idea to prioritize foreign aid over our own people? Why are we sending billions overseas when we can't even take care of the folks right here? It's fucking outrageous.
It's about misplaced priorities. No one's saying that we shouldn't help other countries, but when you're bleeding at home, you don't go and buy a new house for the neighbors. You fix your own freaking roof first.
So here's what I'm fucking saying. You want to send money to Ukraine? Maybe that's fine, even though I don't fucking agree with it, but at least not at the expense of our people. This is basic common sense. You don't let your own house fall apart while you're fixing someone else's. And it's not just about the money. It's about respect. We owe it to the people who sacrificed everything for this country not to leave them out in the fucking cold. It's disgraceful.
We need to hold the people making these decisions accountable. Our veterans are homeless, they deserve better. And this $75 billion could have made a real freaking difference right here at home. It's not too late to fix this.
You heard the lady. And if you don't like it, well, tough fucking shit. But if you care about our vets, about fixing homelessness, then do something about it. Get loud. Get angry. And make sure they know we won't stand for this anymore. Let me give you another example of this fucking disaster. In New York City, they're paying upwards of $400 a night for hotel rooms to house illegal fucking aliens, and many of them are fucking criminals, and part of gangs too. Now, that's thousands of dollars a week. Meanwhile, veterans are told to get in line for affordable housing that doesn't even fucking exist. It's a fucking joke. We could have taken a fraction of that money and built a fucking army of homes.
That's true, Vinny. In places like California, the state spends billions every year trying to tackle homelessness. But it's like patching a sinking ship with duct tape. The solution isn't temporary housing, it's permanent homes, support services, and real investments in these people's futures.
You know, Lisa, here's a true story. I met this vet the other day. Fought in Iraq. Lost a leg. Guy comes home, serves his country, and now he's out there begging for change because the government can't get its fucking act together. How do we look these people in the eye and tell them, sorry, we got no money for you but Ukraine? Sure, here's $75 billion. How the fuck does that make any sense?
Vinny, that's the heartbreaking part. These people sacrificed everything for this country, and they're treated like they don't even exist. It's a national freaking shame. A decent country doesn't just forget about its veterans. We could have used this money, which was more than enough to build affordable homes and provide the counseling, rehab, and job placement services they need to get back on their feet.
Let me ask you something. How much does a single fucking missile cost? Millions. And we're sending them by the boatload to fucking Ukraine. That money could have put roofs over people's heads. Instead, we're busy playing war games across the fucking globe, while folks here are freezing to death under bridges. It's insanity.
The U.S. sends billions in foreign aid every year. Imagine if just a portion of that went toward fixing the systemic problems here, like homelessness, mental health care, and affordable housing. Instead of fighting someone else's war, we could be fighting poverty right here.
And another thing, mental health. You got vets coming back with PTSD and they're left to rot on the streets. You're telling me 75 fucking billion couldn't have gone towards building mental health clinics or creating programs that give these people a shot at recovery? You bet your fucking ass it could have.
You're right, Vinny. Studies show that veterans are more likely to suffer from PTSD, substance abuse, and mental health issues. Without proper care, they fall through the cracks. With that money, we could have opened hundreds of new VA centers, staffed with professionals dedicated to treating these invisible wounds.
And here's the kicker. You solve homelessness, you don't just save lives, you save fucking money too. Think about it. Hospitals, emergency rooms, jails. They're all filled with homeless folks who don't get the care they need on the streets. Give them homes, give them stability, and you save the whole fucking system billions in the long run.
That's exactly right. Studies have shown that it actually costs less to provide permanent housing for the homeless than to keep them on the streets, where they rely on expensive emergency services. A housing-first model could save cities and states millions each year. And think about the workforce we could rebuild if we gave these people a chance to thrive again.
You know, it's not just about the numbers. It's about doing what's right. I mean, when did we stop caring about taking care of our own? We're so busy trying to fix the rest of the fucking world that we forgot about the people right in front of us. That $75 billion should have been spent on Americans, on our people.
Exactly, Vinny. Charities at home. We're not saying we shouldn't help others, but when we have such deep-rooted problems right here, people without homes, veterans abandoned after their service, it's clear where the priorities should be.
So what now? We just keep sending cash overseas and pretend everything's fine? Nah, not on my watch. It's time to demand some fucking accountability. Our government's gotta wake up and start putting America first, and that starts with taking care of the people right here. This ain't rocket science, it's basic fucking decency. That's why we need Trump back in the White House for another 4 fucking years. At least he cares, and his accomplishments are out of this fucking world. Have you seen them? Chris Dallas has compiled all his accomplishments and posted them on his Facebook page. I'll have the 2 links in the description, and I'll also pin them in the comments section of this video. Do yourself a favor and go read them. You'll need fucking weeks to get through them. That's how many he fucking has. That's not only more than any other president in history, but it's also more than all the fucking previous presidents combined. You heard me, combined. Now go read them.
We need a shift in how we think about our priorities. We need to take care of the people who took care of us, our veterans, our homeless, the vulnerable. And we need to start asking why. When we had $75 billion to spend, it wasn't spent on solving these problems.
You people out there in social media land, you pissed off yet? Good. Because if you're not, then you're not fucking paying attention. We gotta stop letting the fucking people in charge piss away our money like it's nothing. Speak up, get loud, make them know we're not taking it anymore.
If you care about this country, about the people who need our help, then do something. Let's not keep making the same mistakes. Stand up for our veterans, for our homeless, and make your voice heard.
And if you don't, well, don't come crying to me when your taxes keep going up amongst other shit and nothing changes. We got the power to make them listen. So let's fucking use it. Oh, and let me hit you with some real numbers here, just in case you still ain't getting the picture. We got around 40,000 veterans sleeping on the streets every night. 40,000! These are people who fucking fought for us, defended our freedom, and now we're just letting them rot out there? How the fuck do we justify that?
And veterans aren't the only ones. Around 580,000 people are homeless on any given night in the U.S. It costs cities and states up to $35,000 a year just to keep a single homeless person alive on the street, through emergency services, shelters, and temporary aid. If we had invested in permanent housing, we could have saved lives and saved money. It costs less in the long run to house someone than it to let them remain homeless.
Think about that. We're burning money every fucking day keeping people homeless, when we could be spending less to actually give them homes. This ain't brain surgery. Hell, even I can do the math. But no, the government keeps funneling cash into these endless programs that never fucking work.
And it's not just Ukraine. The U.S. spends around $51 billion a year on foreign aid. That's money going to other freaking countries when we can't even take care of the people here. Of course, helping other countries is important, but we have to ask at what cost? When there's no money left for the homeless, for veterans, for the people who need it most, our priorities are out of order.
Oh yeah, let's just send billions all over the world. But when it comes to taking care of our own, all of a sudden we're broke? What a load of fucking bullshit.
Studies have shown that it's cheaper to house someone than it is to leave them homeless. The housing first model, where you provide permanent housing first and then help with job placement, mental health care, and addiction recovery, actually saves money. Instead of these band-aid solutions, we need to invest in real, long-term fixes.
You put people in homes, you get them off the streets, and you start saving millions, maybe even billions of dollars. But no, instead of fixing our own fucking backyard, we're too busy fixing other people's problems across the globe. It's a fucking joke.
We're not just talking about numbers here. These are real people, our veterans, our fellow Americans. It's time for a change. We need to make sure that the money we have is spent where it counts at home, fixing the crisis right here in front of us.
So here's what I'm saying. No more fucking excuses. No more sending money to fix other people's wars when we got a fucking war of our own going on. Homelessness. We need to hold these politicians accountable and tell them to stop treating our people like they're fucking disposable. Enough is enough.
Exactly, Vinny. We have the money, we have the resources, but we need to shift our freaking priorities. We can solve homelessness, especially for our veterans, if we invest the money in the right places. The $75 billion we sent to freaking Ukraine could have built homes, created jobs, and provided support services for those who need it most, and then some.
Exactly, Lisa. But no, let's keep burning cash in foreign wars instead of actually doing something useful here at home. It's fucking crazy. And here's another mind blower for you. In 2020, the U.S. spent about $51 billion on foreign aid. You telling me we couldn't have used that money right here to fix homelessness, take care of our veterans, and stop people from fucking dying in the streets? So what the hell are we waiting for? We gotta wake up and make sure these idiots in charge start fucking listening. It's time to stop with the excuses and actually solve the problems right here in our own backyard. We ain't asking for miracles, just some common sense and some decency for the people who've been left out in the cold. So now that you got all the facts, are you pissed off yet? 'Cause you should be. I don't want to hear any excuses anymore. We had the money. We had the chance to fix this fucking disaster, but the powers that be decided to send it overseas. We gotta wake up and start demanding that this shit stops now.
And yet, here we are talking about what could have been. It's time to hold people accountable and push for real change. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We hope you liked our take on the money that flew away due to a stupid, freaking useless, corrupt administration. Now, please do me all a favor and hit that subscribe button. While you're at it, like this video and leave a comment, too, because it helps with the YouTube algorithms. It's how YouTube works, so we need your help. And share, too, while you're at it. Anything you can do will sure help this channel grow. And remember, Chris Dallas writes his own scripts to everything you see and hear on his channels, and that's not easy to do. They're his ideas, and not the ideas of the celebrities he portrays, so keep that in mind. Okay, thanks a million, folks. This is Mona Lisa Vizzo, with my fiancé Vinny, wishing you all well. And until next time, sayonara, baby.